What's up? What's up? What's up? This is the Ball Knowers Pod coming from you for Week 5 recap. I got Zach, that is me, Jacob to the Aller, otherwise known as Joller, and Justin here with me. How are you doing, gentlemen? I know Joller, late night, came back, saw the live Packers at Rams game, which we'll definitely get into, but how you doing?
Good, tired. Long freaking day in LA, man. It's like 80 miles there, 80 miles back, traffic. Glad we saw a win. Glad to be back home.
That sounds terrible. Justin, how was your Sunday?
Good, man. I'm wide the fuck awake after that Cowboys game. So I wasn't going to sleep anyways.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, speaking of wide awake, definitely you had to be wide awake to catch that 6:30 a.m. London games, which is definitely where we're going to start. I actually woke up at 6:20 because my daughter woke me up bright and early, and I said, "Fuck it, let's turn it on and start it from the get-go." So, Jets at Vikings, it was a quote-unquote home game for the Vikings. I don't know if you guys saw any of the highlights or if you woke up somewhat early, like
I
I
did
thought.
wake
Did you
up.
caught any
I'm a
of
man
it?
of my word. I said I'd wake
All
up,
right.
and I did. I watched the
There
game.
was no proof of life, but we'll take your word for it.
That's a fact.
What'd you see?
I think the Jets looked that good. Aaron Rodgers had a couple bad picks. Vikings are still good. I don't think they played their best game, but I do feel like Rodgers looks a step off. Father time, old man, 40. That last pick thrown off his back foot, he didn't have quite the touch I think he thought he used to have. Kind of a bad way to end the game. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of just look kind of funky to me. But
Mid?
yeah, I guess mid. Maybe that's it is week 5. The offense hasn't really exploded like the way people thought they would. Maybe Devontae Adams comes in. Who knows? Um, but yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
Justin, did you catch any of it?
I did not catch any of it, but I wanted to say, do we think any of it could be just to contribute? Could it just be chalked up to like, okay, it's only a few games. Rodgers hasn't had a lot of time with the offense yet. Um, they'll work it out in the next few weeks.
I thought that, but then I thought, they're 2-3, and they've beaten the Titans and the Patriots,
Yeah, not, yeah.
and they've lost to the Vikings. Which I mean, hey, albeit 5-0 Vikings, like don't I'm not gonna sleep on them. They lost to the Niners, who obviously we'll kind of touch on to them. They're a mystery card of their own, and then their other loss was Broncos, actually, ten
Denver.
nine trash game. Yeah, last week. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, first couple weeks, Rodgers couldn't really connect with a lot of them. He's connecting with Lazard because he had that history, and Garrett Wilson being their number one. They were kind of been off key first few games. They kind of get into it, you know, this morning, which was good. Wilson had 13 catches, over 100 yards. He had a touchdown too, so that's good to see. Also good the Jets fought back. Jets defense obviously has been pretty solid. That wasn't really a question mark going into the season, and they had the opportunity to come back. You know, I take it more also that the Vikings didn't put up any points in the second half, and they haven't done all season, the first 5 games. But this is the one game that it's like, hey, you actually kind of maybe need to throw on another field goal, maybe another touchdown to kind of solidify that game, and they never pulled away. That's the whole point. Jets
Yeah,
were always right there, even though how bad the Jets looked. Rodgers had 2 picks, I think 15 or 16 yards in the first quarter, and like they're only up by 10. 2 possessions. It's you got to be able to pull away. If Minnesota wants to compete with the bigger NFC teams, or eventually the goal of competing with an AFC team, you got to pull away. If you're getting 2 picks in the first quarter or in the first half, you have to convert those for sure if you want to compete. So, I think it was kind of more showing for the Vikings. Maybe they go into a bye next week, and maybe they can fix some things and come out 6-0. Who knows?
I
So
feel like
kind of like 17-0 and then let off the gas.
Yep.
And just kind of coasted through the rest of the game.
I
I
feel
don't
it's a
know.
better
There's not a lot
team.
of
I feel like
teams
it's a
that
better
look.
team. The better team going down 17-0 and then just coasting. A better team could catch up.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It doesn't look like there's a lot of like hard hitting like NFC teams, at least so far, right? Like you would say like San Francisco, Philly, even Dallas, Detroit still looks good, obviously. But like the teams that are up there in the standings, right? You're talking about Washington, Atlanta, like Seattle. Like do any of those teams, Chicago even, right? Do any of those teams
Yeah.
really like,
Scare
you
anyone?
know? No, and certainly not Minnesota, at least right now, right? So, I mean, maybe they can take advantage this year of kind of like
Well,
a mediocre
started
pool of
off.
NFC teams.
Yeah, they started off obviously really good against the Packers and cooled off. And then same thing with this game. Started off good, cooled off in the second half. So it's clearly kind of a trend that they've had. It's not really putting it away in the second half. Jets thing, I do feel like there's some weird vibes, so to speak, with Saleh and Rodgers and probably Nathaniel Hackett. Some of the play calling has just been kind of weird and stagnant on the Jets, like run, pass, punt, which I saw for a while towards the end with the Hackett on the Packers as well. It's just not a very exciting offense right now, which everyone's kind of surprised by. So I think part of it is some play calling that's not working, mixed with maybe Rodgers, like you said, not fully gelled with the team. He's only had, you know, basically 5 games, 4 snaps of last year. So be overreacting, but I mean, at the same time, it is 5 weeks through the season, right? There's no excuses. But yeah, things just kind of feel off in New York. And I think it's a combination of the play calling and guys just not being on the same page. So I'd definitely say they're underperforming to everyone's expectations with that Super Bowl level defense, but 2-3. So it'll be interesting the next couple of weeks, see how they bounce back.
Yeah. Definitely a fun one though. A lot of times, that 7-8 or 6:30 a.m. London games always kind of usually garbage teams. I think the last few years have gotten better. Ironically, next week is Jacksonville at Chicago, so don't at me on that. But I feel
Still
like
waking
this one
up for that
was,
or what?
yeah, have to, baby. Research, but it was definitely, a good one. I wasn't mad that I woke up and watched it. So, but moving on, the 10 a.m. slate, definitely some good games. There were 6 games at 10 a.m. 3 of them were actually division games. Miami, New England, Baltimore, Cincy, and then Indy, Jacksonville. I kind of want to just run by probably the crappiest one, the Miami, New England one, real quick. Don't have too much. Miami ended up with the win 15-10. Tyler Huntley came in, I guess, got the W, but I mean, they didn't really do much. There was 2 touchdowns total in this game. I mean, didn't really see much. It was 7-3 at halftime, which that's not a really exciting game. I don't know. Any thoughts, Joller?
Who do we pick for this game? Do you remember?
I picked Miami.
I think I picked the Pats.
I think I do as well because they're at home. Yeah, England's down bad, man. They look bad. Offensive line's bad. Don't throw Drake May to the Wolves. It's kind of the consensus. Not really expecting
I
anything to
re-listened,
change the next couple of weeks.
and I 110% side with Justin's now. Like I changed my whole thing, and I was like, no, let's let him go. Nope, I totally side with you.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at
Like,
the last couple of weeks, like it's not New England can't get anything going. I mean, have they scored over 20 points this whole season? Like they're just not, you know. So yeah, I guess for 2025. But yeah, kind of surprised the Dolphins won. I thought New England might get the win at home, but being such a low scoring game, not super surprised. Didn't expect much, Is what it is.
yeah, 15-10, definitely not an exciting one to go to, but yeah, Devon A-Chain got out.
HN.
A-Chan was hurt pretty early, concussion. Raheem Mostert back in. OBJ's first game too, which all that would be exciting if Tua was still there, so it's kind of still down bad in Miami. So yeah, 15-10, Miami
Assuming
gets the
Tua
win, I
comes
guess.
back.
Yeah, if, when, who knows? Retired.
Well, he's on the IR for 4 weeks, right? So 1, 2, 3. So he'll come back against Indy possibly after their bye.
Yeah, we will see. So yeah, moving on. Another, I guess, kind of odd game. Carolina at Chicago. The Chicago manhandled the Panthers, which took me for sure by surprise. I have a couple thoughts on it, but Justin, what do you think?
Two 30-plus yard Caleb Williams touchdowns to DJ Moore. Has he arrived? Is it official now?
You can't arrive when you're playing Carolina.
I mean, the Red Rocket, though, man. Like, he was supposed to come in and light it up today, and it doesn't look like
That's what we
that's what
said,
happened.
right? Didn't we say that? I thought
Yeah,
so.
We got overzealous
I
with
feel
that
like,
one win.
I think so.
He
yeah,
blue
And we
balled
kind of
all of
forgot,
us.
and I think we kind of forgot that the Bears defense is actually like for real, for real.
Yeah, their defense is good. Caleb, we'll say real quick, Caleb did play really well. He's played better every week. Got to give him credit where credit's due. He's arrived because it is the Panthers. If he played against any other team in the NFL, maybe we can say he's arrived.
any other? We're going to see him against Jacksonville next week, though.
Double asterisks, but I just petty, but it is the Panthers, so it's you have to take it with a grain of salt.
He is getting better every week. I do agree. I think they're putting him in. And this one was, I mean, you're up 26 and you're still able to throw over 300 yards. I'm not sure if like play calling, they're just letting him throw the ball. A couple maybe big deep plays to add on to that. Obviously DJ Moore went off, pseudo revenge game for him. But when he does his little run around, ACC or no, excuse me, Pac-12 after dark run, it looks so weird, dude.
Put some respect on it.
Freaking runs around like a
Yeah,
circle. I'm like, dude, that's not going to end well.
Yeah,
play calling was 29 pass to 39 run,
Dang.
and he threw for 304 yards still.
Then respect.
that's Bears football, man. Run the ball. I mean, you can't knock it. But yeah, he played well. I think they blow him out. To be honest, I mean, 36 points is still 36 points.
Yep.
And their schedule is not bad.
Why? Because they play the Packers twice.
Maybe,
That
man.
especially, yeah.
Maybe.
That last game of the season could be for a wild card spot. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a long way away, but yeah, it could.
Ooh, playoff predictions. That'll be fun. Another good, really good division matchup. I think we all talked about this one. This one's definitely going to be close. Baltimore at Cincy. I for sure knew it was going to be close. I think all division ones, usually like to be close, especially this one. Ironically, this is the first AFC North matchup of the year. Definitely did not disappoint. Baltimore gets the win in overtime, 41-38. Evan McPherson, the GOAT from like the playoffs, like when they went to the Super Bowl, and he made like 3 back-to-back game winners. Misses the 53-yarder to win it, and then Derrick Henry gets a 50-yarder run and breaks off one for overtime to win. But there was a lot that happened throughout the game. Did you guys see any of it, or what do you think?
To be up 10 with 9 minutes left, I think he thought, like, okay, this is going to be the Bengals game. It's pretty much over. It just kind of felt that way. And then even, at the end, it's like Evan McPherson goes up and it's like, okay, he's going to win the game for them here. It's going to be over. And then it just didn't. I don't know. It feels like things just haven't gone the Bengals' way this year, right? Like, it's not that, like, they're getting blown out or anything. It's been, by total 15 points in all 4 of their losses.
Total?
Every loss has come with the total 15 points in all
So the
4
average of
losses.
3 points a loss or whatever, a game, I guess. Dang.
Yeah, every loss has been by 6 points or fewer.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Giving up a lot of
And
points, though, week to week. Their defense is really, I mean, Joe Burrow in the offense has been good, but the defense is really bad.
Yeah, when you throw for 392 yards and 5 touchdowns, I mean, what else are you supposed to do? Yeah, he had the 1 pick, but 400 yards basically and 5 touchdowns. Like, well, what else are you going to do? Jamar Chase looked awesome.
Did?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
finally his first game. Obviously, like even when they played that Washington, in that great Monday night game, 2 weeks ago, it was awesome. Joe Shiesty balling out, but again, what I think they gave up, 35 plus, if I'm not mistaken. It's so hard to put on your offense to be like, hey, no, you need to score 40 to win.
Did you see
They scored 38.
Did you see his press conference?
No. What do you say?
Well, I saw a clip. I don't know. The question was like, how do what do you think the team going forward, whatever? And he's like, this is not a championship team right now. Like, we're just not there. Like, he flat out said it. And he's like, maybe we could be in the coming weeks, but right now we're not. Like, it was just very cut and dry, which I kind of respect. It wasn't in a way of throwing anyone under the bus. I think he was just saying what everyone's at home is watching
Thinking.
because
Yeah.
they're obviously not a playoff team right now. And the offense is good, but the defense is really bad. Maybe that's what he was alluding to. I don't know, but I kind of respected him for being direct about it. Not dancing around the bush. Like, yeah, we're 1-4, but we'll turn around. It's like, no, probably not, but we'll see what we can do. Like we'll work to get better. But yeah, right now, like we're just not a good team. So kind of respect that, to be honest. So
Yeah, you give up 520 yards of offense, you can't really expect to win.
no,
True. Puts them in the bottom of the AFC North, tied with the same record for Cleveland, but obviously, as we definitely know, they're completely different teams. I think you put those two in a 7-game series, Cincy's gonna sweep 7-0. Like it's just totally different teams, but unfortunately,
What
it
was
doesn't matter.
crazy is like in years past, Cleveland has been Cincinnati's like kryptonite. Like they can never beat them. But this year, it may be the year where like Cleveland's bad enough, and that necessarily doesn't matter. The next two games are at New York and then at Cleveland too, so they could definitely win those two.
No,
that would
Get
put
back
them
on
3-4 if they won.
Yeah.
both of those, yeah, I mean, definitely, wild card esque. As we get closer down the line, depending on where the rest of the AFC kind of stacks up. The AFC South is mid as it is too. I mean, definitely it's anyone's game. They can get in at a 9-8 or 10-7 kind of thing. So for sure, it's definitely doable.
Baltimore home for Washington next week should be good.
Yes.
Oof, that'll be a Jaden Daniels for real test right there.
Jaden
I
Daniels,
guess
Lamar Jackson game.
that'd be fun.
If they win that game in Baltimore, that's
I'm buying his jersey.
that's 4 in a row, right? If he wins next week, 3 of
I'm
those on
buying
the
his
road.
jersey.
Okay.
So Washington has already won four on the row, four in a row.
Correct.
So they won 4 in a row now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We take
Four of their
well
last
before.
5
Yeah.
on the road, or
Yeah, I mean their fourth win was this one. Cleveland at Washington definitely wasn't close from the get go. We talk about it every week. Cleveland is absolutely dog water. They get smacked on 34-13 by Jaden Daniels Commanders. A couple cool, just I'll let you guys kind of go into it. But some cool things that I saw, cool stats was Jaden Daniels' sixth punt of the year. They punted 2 times on drive. They think they punted like 4 times total in that game, but Marcus Mariota came in, who I forgot he was the backup there, and they punted like
He's
on 2
alive.
drives. On 2 drives, but that was 6th punt by Jaden Daniels led offense this season, and they're in week 5, which is just
Fifth game.
bizarre
that is crazy
to me. And I mean, yeah, 4-1, and it's their first 4-1 start since 2008, which they didn't make the playoffs that year too, which I also thought was kind of insane to start 4-1, and I guess you just shit the bed. I don't know, but what'd you guys see in this one?
It's nice to see Jaden Daniels not have an 80% completion game.
He's human.
He looked relatively pedestrian, as I sent in the group chat earlier today. Throwing the ball, but obviously, running the ball, he ran all over the place again. So the guy's just good. There's nothing else
84
to say
rushing
about it, really.
yards
82
for 100 yards.
Yeah.
82 rushing yards.
on 11 rushes. Yeah, 7.5 average. So
He threw for
he's just good.
240.
Yeah, 320 total. So yeah,
So he's like Justin
238 and change.
Fields, but winning. Like Justin Fields on the
Yes.
Bears line, but he's winning.
Nah, that's a good comparison.
To today's stats, yeah.
Even then, I don't think Justin Fields
The
threw
stats
for
the previous
240 a
games were
lot.
like- yeah.
That actually sounds bad because I praise Jaden Daniels, but then I shit on Justin Fields. So
Yeah, what are you doing?
maybe maybe I mute that. He doesn't.
I did say last
it's
week.
the eye test. It's the eye test. Jaden looks better.
Yeah, I did say last week if Eckler comes back and plays pretty decent, I think they're a good squad to mess around with. He did come back. Obviously, he cleared the concussion protocol. He did decent, I think maybe 70, 80 yards total. Ryan Robinson Jr. actually had the what's it called when somebody steals a touchdown like the 1 yard line, like just freaking sweats it, gets the touchdown at the 1 yard line, even though somebody else does all the work. Ryan Robinson had like 4 carries, 2 touchdowns. just stealing the touchdowns from
Yeah.
everyone else.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Vulture,
No,
like
no.
a touchdown vulture. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of.
The Aaron Jones
he-
treatment, right? Aaron Jones gets you there, and then you give it to A.J. Dillon for 2 yards because he's 250 pounds, and then he punches it in and gets 2 tuds.
Yeah, so Brian Robinson had two rushing touchdowns on like 4 or 5 like total carries or something. Beckler looked good, obviously got to 4-1, and then they looked decent enough to throw. Obviously they could have put up more points if needed. They had Marcus Mariota go in to at least I think like 3 or 4 drives. So it's always good to.
We're 11.2 yards a carry today, so
That's good.
really good.
Deshaun Watson.
Cleveland's.
Dude, what? What is wrong with him, man?
Jameis Winston went 1 for 1, baby. Put him in.
He did.
They probably won't put Jameis in like in the near future, even though it's obvious because
Stefanski said it
we
after
know
the
we
game. His
messed
first
up.
comment. He said his first comment. We have no change at quarterback. I was like,
because they know they're tied to him. But like it is going to be this week, every week. They're going to be awful the whole season. So I think I can't even process a way that Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback in 2025. Like, forget the money. Like, lose the team, the coaches, the front office. How do you allow if anyone else he'd be banned the next week or in 2 or 3 weeks, right? If they ride him out the whole season, they have to be done after this. There is no way. I mean, am I wrong? Is there any way you can if he plays like this for 17 weeks? Let's say 2 weeks at the end of the year, maybe they pull the plug, say whatever, and they throw Jameis in or someone else, right? Is there any logical reason why they bring him back next year outside of the money?
is Stefanski going to be back next year?
I don't give a shit about Kevin Stefanski's job.
I say he's out, and I say Watson's done too. I think they just kind of not fire sale, but like cut Stefanski, and then the new coach like, hey, do whatever you want, and hopefully Winston's still there kicking, man. Where to eat those
I
dubs.
don't know. I don't know, to be honest, and I haven't watched the Browns really a lot more than I've had to for obvious reasons, but I don't know if you can pin it directly on Stefanski because he's handcuffed to Deshaun. He can't bench Deshaun because they know Jimmy Haslam signed his life away to this guy. 100% guaranteed. Like, he knows if he benches him and he gets blowback from ownership, then he's done no matter what. If they lose out with him, it's on Jimmy Haslam because he assigned, you know what I'm saying? Like, the coach doesn't sign him. So I think he might be screwed either way, to be honest. But I don't think he benches him because what does it gain him in his job security if he benches him? You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it seems obvious, but because of the money and stuff, it makes ownership look stupid, which ipso facto gets you fired.
Everyone already knows.
If Jameis comes in and lights it up, though.
What's that?
Yeah.
If Jameis comes in and lights it up, it looks good, like a good decision on his part.
Yeah. Cleveland's just in hell, and they deserve it. So
down bad.
What is this, year 2? Year 2, Deshaun Watson?
Yeah. It was the Joe Flacco show last year, though, because he got hurt last year. And Joe Flacco came in.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco elite.
Joe Flacco elite. Speaking of Joe Flacco, the other divisional matchup, my Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville came down, kicked a game-winning or go-ahead field goal with like 10 seconds left or whatever, and won 37-34. This game was wild, actually. No Anthony Richardson, no Jonathan Taylor, down 14 with like 5 minutes left, and elite, 39-year-old or 41-year-old Joe Flacco comes out and throws over 350 yards, a couple deep touchdown passes and stuff too throughout the game to at least tie it and give him a shot. But I don't know. Sucks being out with your two big starters or big names, and the Colts have now lost in Jacksonville. The last time they won in Jacksonville, was 2014. That's wild to me. And we play them every year, so it's not like it's like, oh, every like 3 or 4. No. 7 years in a row. It will be. At least.
I did not think that would matter, but obviously I was
No,
wrong.
So
it's so bad,
still
dude.
Colts run defense, terrible. Lead the league in rushing yards allowed per game. So not being able to stop anyone. If you give up 30 plus points to the Jacksonville Jaguars, you kind of are giving up. So I actually was upset and like switched to a different game when they were down 2 touchdowns. And I saw they scored 1. I was like, nah, maybe I'll flip back in like 5 minutes. And then I saw, but then get the ball Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence led a game-winning drive. Respect. Without AR and JT, I went into watching this game not assuming we would lose, but assume like if we were gonna win, we were barely gonna win, and it honestly played out exactly how I thought, except not as maybe as high as scoring, but exactly how I thought. I don't know.
41 total fourth quarter points is insane.
That's nuts.
That's just back and forth the entire fourth quarter. It's like every drive. It's like whiplash.
It was like back
It's
and forth,
Madden
like
rookie
50-yard
mode,
like
no
plays.
defense.
Yeah, dude, it's literally what it was, man. I don't know. It was tough watch, but we move on. We see. I actually don't even know who Indy has next. Justin, on that schedule watch
Yeah.
at
India's at
Titans versus
Tennessee,
Dolphins.
home for Miami.
Okay, definitely winnable
Yeah.
game next week. So or hopefully, hopefully we don't have time for
And the week
Jonathan
after.
Taylor and Anthony Richardson to get healthy. I think the Colts at full health and Anthony Richardson playing consistently, I think they could do some damage, but we'll see. It's been a while.
You have to win your next 2, though. You have to, because you're at Houston, at Minnesota, home for Buffalo.
God,
After that,
No chance.
yeah. And then
There's
you're
no chance.
dude, and then you're at the Jets, which okay, winnable, and then home for Detroit. So
yikes!
Yeah, your schedule is pretty.
Oh God!
You have to
You
win the
both
next 2.
have.
You have to.
You
Damn.
both have the schedule from hell.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I don't know.
If both of you, real quick, if both of you go 0-5 over the next 5, I'll buy you ice cream or something, because that is awful luck. I didn't believe the Cowboys would go 0-5 the next 5. They might after tonight because they didn't look good. We'll get into that. But the Colts, the way they're playing right now, oh man, not to rub salt in the wound, but I think they could also go 0-5.
Knock on wood. Definitely attainable though, for sure. So I don't want that. I just want AR to play the rest of the season, get some more reps. But speaking of another AFC South opponent, though, this was a really good one. Kind of touched on this one. I think is a definitely playoff preview-esque kind of teams. Buffalo Bills at the Houston Texans. Texans hit a walk-off field goal to win, 23-20. Nico Collins
Shout out
actually
me for picking Houston straight up.
Dang. Nico Collins is leading the league in reception or receiving yards. He actually ironically got hurt in this game after catching a bomb, like 50 or 60-yard touchdown pass. But I don't know. What'd you guys see? Jolly?
You guys both thought I was crazy picking Houston. Although I did say if they win convincingly, which is 7 points, then Houston would be for real. And they won on a last-second field goal. However, it's still a win. Allen looked like ass. Allen ass performance. Off though, I mean, it was still a close game. Even with him playing that bad, still almost won the game. So, still a big win for Houston. But yeah, the Stroud boys carry on.
30% completion percentage from Josh Allen.
Yeah, this
Who's he
is the
throwing
first
to?
time that's happened. For that many pass attempts, there's a stat. It hasn't happened in 30 years.
9 for 30.
Correct. Would you think Josh
And
Allen
still only lose by 3 though?
Back in the league,
And only
to
lost
have
by
that
3.
happen
That's
to.
just crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying on Thursday, like, are either of these teams really that good? I don't know. CJ Stroud over 300 yards, for the second week in a row is really good, but How do
But
you
no
only
one
win
could
this
have
game by 3?
expected Josh Allen to have a performance like that, though.
No, but imagine if he had a regular performance. It would have been a blowout.
Right? But he didn't, though, right? I mean, that. But yeah, it's.
No.
But for anyone in the league to have the worst completion percentage game or whatever in like 30 years, the last person I'm thinking of is Josh Allen or
I think
Patrick
for
The
anyone
Mahomes.
to say that Houston is like a lock for AFC title game this year is fucking crazy.
I'll be crazy. It's
um,
fine.
yeah, I know definitely 9 for 30. If you said that and like hey, only lost for the game by 3, that's definitely shocking. Buffalo's defense has been pretty good all year, and their run game, because usually they're reliant on Josh Allen to run for 100 and throw for 200 or 300, and that's not. He has no one to throw to. No Gabe Davis, no Stephon Diggs. He has what Dawson Knox and Kincaid and Shahir Kablier or something. Like I don't know. Like there's not a lot of wide receiver talent there, so he's reliant on James Cook to kind of do their thing and their defense to hold, which they did, but just not enough. And also, I'm
That's what everyone was
crazy.
saying coming into the season.
Yeah, I'm crazy. I have a bet slip somewhere in here from Vegas. AFC champions, Houston Texans. I bet it like 5 months ago in Vegas.
You're just bringing this up now after I've been taking the beating for picking Houston for
Wow.
weeks, getting crapped on by Justin. They're just not that good. I just don't see it, which could be fair,
I
but
don't, man. I mean, do you see anything that convinces you here? I just don't.
I'm just a Stroud
Everybody this
boy.
year
I got to
knew
ride.
this is like not Buffalo's year, and then the first 3 weeks they look amazing playing garbage teams, and
It is
everyone's
true.
like sucking them off, And I'm like, they're not that good,
All four of their
How
And
wins
now everyone's
are
like, oh
one
the
yeah, no,
schedule
possession.
Josh
though? They
Allen
don't
has
pick
no
their
one to throw
schedule.
to.
All four of their wins
Huh?
were one
They don't pick
possession.
their schedule though.
They beat the Colts by 2, beat the Bears by
Sure.
6, beat the Jags by 4, and beat the Bills by 3. All one possession. All less than a touchdown. So, I mean, they're not
Wait,
winning
you
any
just
games
were talking about
convincingly.
how the Bills weren't that good right now.
I was saying, he
Yeah,
said, the Texans. I was kind of siding with Justin. Texans have they're 4-1, which is good, but all those wins, 6 points or less.
yeah.
None of them
Against
convincing.
garbage teams, like and supposedly Buffalo, like everybody coming into the season, this is going to be Buffalo's like off year, and they lost everybody in free agency, right? So to beat them by only 3 after Josh Allen threw 9 for 30,
Yeah,
like, are
but
you that good?
Yeah, I know. That's just a weird day from Josh Allen, though. I don't
win
know.
column doesn't
I'll
have
give him the benefit
details,
of the doubt, but
right?
yeah, no pick scorecard, golf reference here. But
I think the game perfectly describes my point from Thursday that both these teams are just like not that good.
you totally could be right objectively. This is the fun time of year where we have a sample size where we can kind of think we think a team's good or think a team is bad, and then a month from now it'd be like, holy shit, we were way wrong, or we were totally right. So a month from now, if Houston is skating by 3 points every game, you can be like, hey, I told you. Or if they're losing by 3 points every game, you know, same thing. Yeah, Buffalo's weird though. I can't believe Josh Allen had that bad of a day. It's hard to make
Still a
out
Is
what
chance
the
to win.
Houston's
Bills are
defense
though.
like crazy or something? Or
No, I wouldn't think so.
I really don't know.
I think Josh has played really
But
bad, but
but yeah, we'll
but
see.
almost winning
Definitely,
still. It's a fair point.
like you said, I think we're good. 5 games in, week 5, good enough sample size to at least make some, some not summations for like the whole season, but definitely a summary of hey, 5 games is a lot. That's more than a quarter of the season already done. So it's definitely in a position to make some comments to kind of see hey, are they good or are they not? I think we definitely have a good sample size. But for this one, so those are 10 a.m. games. There was 4 in the 1 o'clock games. This was one that I still don't know the Broncos against the Raiders. Broncos come out 34-18, smack on the Raiders. Raiders are bad, not surprising. But these Broncos, man, what is up? I don't know. Justin?
I think Bo Nix will start to settle in, and I think I think he should be looked at as like as decent as Caleb Williams so far. Sure, Caleb Williams looked really good like today, I don't know. It is the Raiders though, also. So
Bo had
I don't
minus
know.
7
I
yards
don't
at
know.
half last week too.
Yeah, dude.
Doesn't matter though. They got the dub, right? And they're playing the Jets.
No
So
pictures. No pictures on
Jets defense is known
scorecards.
to be good, right?
No pictures on a scorecard. That's right, except for the
And
highlight
Jets
reel
defense.
afterwards.
Jets defense is good. So, but yeah, I mean, they definitely were in control of this game. You know, obviously, no Devontae Adams. You know, definitely probably going to be traded here in the next few weeks. You know, they swapped out Mariota for, or not Mariota, excuse me, Minshew for O'Connell like
Minshew.
early in the third.
Benched him.
Bo Nix looked good.
Did
Three
they
total
really?
touchdowns. Yeah,
Yeah,
three
they
total
benched him.
touchdowns, over 200 yards. And then Surtain had a sick ass 100-yard pick six. That was cool.
Coast to coast, 100-yard pick six.
Yep. It was funny.
Yikes.
There was a funny like highlight that I saw. Max Crosby was playing, and Bo Nix was trying to call an audible at the line. You know, the play clock's running down, and literally Max Crosby's like, "Bo, they can't fucking hear you. Speak up. It's cover one or something like that." And I was
I
like,
saw that
"Holy
headline
shit."
and I was like, did he really call him out? Like, that's crazy.
Dude. It was hilarious. He's like, "Speak up." I was like, "God damn." I was like, maybe he's being nice. I don't know. They're getting smacked
Do
on
you
already,
think
so
he
I mean, I
was
guess.
trying to get in his head, but do you think he was actually like, dude, speak up, your guys can't actually hear you,
I
like
think so.
take
I
control of the
honestly think
Trying to
huddle?
so.
help him out.
Do you think it
He's
was
like,
like a sincere like, dude, speak the fuck up?
I've heard Max Crosby like interview before. I think he's a cool dude. I think he was trying to not be a dick. I mean, you're already down. Like they're down like two possessions. It wasn't close, and like Bo Nix was trying to call an audible or something. He's like, "Bo, speak the fuck up."
I have to look into that this week. See if there's like an interview where he kind of explains the context. But I did see that and I thought that was pretty funny.
But 3 wins in a row for Denver. You know, it's kind of
Quietly.
surprising. No, quietly
they
behind
weren't
the
garbage teams
Chiefs,
either.
Jets,
Yeah.
Bucks.
Home for
Right,
Chargers at New Orleans next 2 games.
be a fun one.
Yeah, Bucks, Jets, Raiders. They're 3 games.
No, definitely not bad. Raiders down bad though. Getting on that, Devontae Adams gets traded. You know, we'll definitely probably hear more on that. There was a meme, I think I sent it to you guys. It was like Devontae Adams after the trade goes through. He's like limping with like a hamstring, and the guy like
He
pops
starts
up.
walking again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's comedy.
Can't even blame him, dude. I can't even blame him.
No, he should totally sit.
Yeah, definitely. Denver's kind of a wild card for me. So is this next one. Another surprising one. For the spread, I did pick them, but I didn't think they would win outright. Cardinals at San Francisco. The game was also like 95 degrees up in Santa Clara, but San Francisco lost, 24-23. Arizona, you know, scores 14 unanswered and holds the Niners to 0 points in the second half. Niners, not
I did
good.
hear about the Heat.
Or
I mean, they're beat up too, kind of like the Rams. But real quick, I did hear about the weather thing. My dad was talking about it today. I don't know if you guys know off the top of your head the layout at Levi's. On one side, like here's like on one side's like all the offices and whatever. On the other side, there's a huge upslope, right? It's not level stadium. One side's higher than the other. On this side, there's no shade. In all of September and part of October, the way the sun is, it bakes on them. And it's just hot as shit up there. And they've complained about
Architecture
it since day
pod.
one.
Architecture pod with Joller.
No, it's a real thing. They complain about the heat, and there's no way to add, supposedly, structurally, there's not a way to add shade over it. So a vast majority, like a huge chunk of the stadium, is going to be baking every time you're in those seats.
Is that the Niners sideline?
I think so. So shout out whoever designed it. You're an asshole. I did enjoy the stadium. I do think the inside looks great. Hot as shit up there. To me again, I did pick Arizona straight up. You guys all shit on me last week.
I was the
no,
one.
You didn't. You were
Arizona.
Like, you said, "Wow."
Go back and check it. Arizona by 1,000. That's what I said. Go back and check it. I thought it was funny that Kyle Shanahan actually called the league this week and tried to switch their uniforms from red to white because he knew it was going to be so hot.
It's true.
And the league told him to fuck off because you pick your jersey colors before
at the beginning of the season, right? Yeah.
You're not going to
White at home is fucking stupid, though. I mean, besides the Cowboys, because they always do that. But It's always how it's been. But just white at home is stupid. It's not the fucking
Yeah.
NBA.
Go back and watch the last pod. I said Arizona by 1,000, and I was right. Because by 1 or by 1,000, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, because numbers, yeah,
True.
math.
And yeah,
No, it's definitely tough. Tough for San Francisco. Ayuk looked good for once. Took him 5 weeks to show what he's worth. All that money, but crazy stat to see. San Francisco's last 4 drives in the second half was interception, turnover on downs, fumble, and interception. All of those drives, except one of them, were at least 5 minutes long. So they had the ball and did nothing with it. Had the ball, did nothing with it. Had the ball, did nothing with it. You're not going to win any games.
love to see it.
My dad is not happy. I texted him because I went out to dinner with my in-laws and I texted him because when I left, it was 23-10 at halftime. 2 possessions. I was like, oh, San Francisco's doing exactly what I thought. They were covering at that point because the spread, if you could check me on it, it was like -6.5 or -7.5 for San Francisco. So I bet at 7. Yeah, so I bet on Arizona. Division game. I figured it was going to be close. I texted my dad. I was like, what happened? Oh, my dad's a Niners fan, for everyone that knows. I was like, what the hell happened? I was like, Niners were up by like 2 scores at halftime. He literally responded, I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to watch the game Thursday because they play on Prime.
Sean, call in. I want to talk about it.
Should. Oh, they play at Seattle.
Tell me what happened.
So he's not
at
doing
Seattle,
good.
home for Kansas City, home for Dallas.
It's going to be.
Has he listened to the
bad.
podcast, by the way?
Yes.
He's all in?
Yeah, we should have him call in guest phone call.
Next time
we
we
want
lose,
to talk about this one specific game. It will be. It'll be on Thursday night. Oh man,
It's always good to have fans talk about their team's shittiest game.
So bad,
Yeah.
dude. But definitely good division matchup. I thought knew it was gonna be close, but Arizona ended up eking out with the win. The Cardinals didn't they didn't look egregiously great. I mean, their defense obviously took care of business, but Kyler had I think like a 50-yard or 60-yard touchdown run at the beginning, then kind of just cooled down after that. But I mean, hey, hold San Francisco to 0 points in the second half, or you hold any team to 0 points in the second half, you have any chance to beat anyone. So props to Cardinals. But we'll touch on this other one before we get into Joller's live viewership of the Rams-Packers game. I want to touch on this one quick. The Giants at Seattle. I was shocked the Giants won. Justin?
Daniel Jones looks like a $40 million a year quarterback, since that's like what a budget quarterback is nowadays. So far, I mean, like he's technically kind of been worth the money, right? 257 yards today, no picks. 281 yards last week. 236 yards the week before. I mean, he's looking like he's not losing the games for them in the recent weeks, right? So, I mean, I'm not going to call them a wild card team or anything like that, but they had a good day.
And no Neighbors either. I mean, Neighbors is putting up big boy 100 plus yards a game, and without even him, and they still put up 29. It's not bad.
Well, Darius Slayton just stepped up, 122 yards, so he kind of filled the spot for him.
It's huge. No Singletary either. But still to come out in that game, there was a 100-yard fumble recovery touchdown by Seattle, I believe. It happened at the same time as Pat Surtain's 100-yard pick six. So watching them both at the same time was pretty baller. That was cool.
Red zone.
Yeah, I did the split screen one, but then I could create my own on my TV, so I can create my own now. I figured out how to do it, so I can make my own. But yeah, I mean, Giants come back and they had a chance to win that Thursday night game against Dallas too, and obviously didn't work out. But I think they, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Seattle was up 7-0, and then never had the lead ever again. So I don't think it was always Seattle kind of coming from behind, which is shocking when you're playing a team called the New York Giants. Back-to-back losses for Seattle too. Obviously the when it gets Detroit, obviously a tougher team than New York, but that's definitely gonna sting. They're lucky that San Francisco is ass, to kind of keep on pace with that division. So, but now we'll get to the beautiful Green Bay Packers at the Los Angeles Rams game. Jacob Aller, Mr. Joller, was at the game live. How was it? First off?
It was good, man. It's a long day getting out to LA. Left the house at like 10:30. Didn't get back till almost 8. Whatever. We were favored by 3 on the road. Not super surprising considering how banged up the Rams are. It was a nail biter. They almost blew it. They ran the ball late and were driving. And I looked at my dad and I was like, not again. Like I've seen this before. We have not seen a win in California. We lose to the Niners and the Rams twice. The Rams once. So I thought there's no way this happens again. And it did. But they made the stop. Not a super impressive win, to be honest. I mean, the Rams are still really beat up. Had that really egregiously awful pick six into the first half. He was right in front of me on our end zone. He was trying to avoid the safety. Half-ass sidearm blind throw straight to the DB for a quick 8-yard pick six. It was really, really bad. And I think what's annoying is at the time taking that safety is extremely inconsequential. It's not going to ruin the game. It's early in the game. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like late where a safety would have won the game or something crazy. But obviously, as a quarterback, your pride, you don't want to take a safety. No excuses. It was really bad from him. If he ever does anything like that again, I will open the floodgates on him, rightfully so. But he had a couple big passes that turned into touchdowns. But other than that, other than a couple big plays, the offense kind of just chipped away at it. Super flashy. And again, beating up a beat up Rams team, it wasn't a super impressive win. But nonetheless, a win is a win. The two. So going home happy about that. And that's it on the next week.
Tucker Kraft, 2 tutties? I respect it. You like that? Seeing your tight end put in the work? No Romeo Dubes, RIP, or what? Is he going to come back to the team? Or
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
You got to show up to practice. It's kind of like you're in your contract.
What is he upset about, though? He had, what was that?
I don't
He has
know.
like second most targets on the team.
You know what? To be honest,
upset about?
I didn't hear whatever drama during the week. I didn't hear about it. I didn't read up on it. My dad texted me Friday night saying, like, dumbass Dobbs is suspended because he's not showing up to practice and meetings. He missed 2 meetings this week. And I was like, well, it's like 20% of the week. What is he doing? Bad situation. I'll have to read up on it more. It's just kind of unprofessional and stupid. Could have used him today. Dontavian Wicks had a couple bad drops today. So, like I said, they skated by with a win. Glad to be 3-2, but it wasn't always pretty. So,
yeah, you said no pictures on scorecards. Definitely always fun to see a win too. It always surprises me when a team's favored. At away too, especially like this kind of game. To see that Green Bay was favored by -3. The Rams are pretty beat up, albeit, but they're coming off of a pretty big win against San Francisco. So I thought it would have been a little bit different of a line, but hey, good dub for Jordan Love.
Was it a? Go ahead, Zach. Sorry.
No, so yeah, I mean, good dub for Jordan Love. Gets his first win of the season, right?
I know it's crazy because he got hurt and then he was 0-2.
So
I was gonna say, what was it? Was it more of a home game for the Packers today? How was the environment
probably.
Yeah, I was up. I was more upper deck, so I could see everything. I mean, walking in, I saw infinitely more Packers fans, and then when I pulled in and during the game, I mean, looking around, you could say it's 50-50, but it felt probably like 70% Packer fans.
Dang.
I mean, I remember a few weeks ago watching.
It's crazy.
I could be wrong. I'm not trying to ego flex or anything. I mean, it looks not so bad when you're looking around, and then when the game's over and you're walking out and you're like, there's 10 Packers fans to 1 Rams fan. You're like, okay, it's way more than 50-50, right? I remember, I don't know if it was week 2 or 3, a couple of weeks ago, they had that picture when San Francisco was in town, and you're looking down and it's just red. Like you're not picking it out, it's just red. And it's been like that every time the Niners play. And I wasn't surprised, Packers fans travel everywhere. But yeah, it was The Go Pack Go chants were going 5 seconds into the game, all throughout the first quarter.
Dang,
The
that's
whole
wild.
game, all over the stadium. One's fading, one's starting. It just Go Pack Go was going the entire game. It was awesome. I was surrounded by Packers fans. The guy in front of me and his girlfriend were Rams fans, but in the front and behind and the corners were all Packers fans, so they were pretty quiet. But never was cool. It wasn't weird. LA's not a football city. Never was, never will be. Lost the Raiders
Damn, shots
twice.
fired.
Lost the Rams. It's just a fact, dude. Lost the Rams. Lost the Raiders twice. Chargers and Rams. Everyone shits on the Chargers, but the Rams are just as bad.
True.
They
But
won a Super Bowl, but other than that,
well, yeah. I mean, they did win Super Bowl, but you think also if you won the Super Bowl, you would think that your fans would go to games too.
yes.
That might help.
They're like, nah, we're
Just a
good.
thought.
We got our Super Bowl hats in our new jerseys, so we're good. And then that's all they need.
Yeah.
But heck yeah, that's awesome. Definitely, fun to see your team win in person. I've only been to two NFL games in my life. One of them was Niners or Bucks at Niners. It was Brock Purdy's first career start ever, and he smacked on Tom Brady. That was a pretty fun game to be at up north in Santa Clara. And then I saw the Chargers play the Colts when they were like the Chargers didn't have a stadium. It was like right before they went to LA or to like SoFi and stuff. And it was Jacoby Brissett lost to Phillip Rivers.
No, dude, you came with us to Cowboys Chargers also in San Diego.
I was not at that game, dude.
You were.
I was not. I promise you, I was not at that game.
You were definitely at that game. All right, I'm gonna call Mark right now.
Was that when LT broke the record?
No.
Oh,
This was like Des Bryant, Tony Romo days.
no, I was not there. But
Quick side
speaking of
note
Des
about
Br-
quick side note about you said you saw the Chargers play when SoFi was being built. Where the Galaxy play in Carson, that is a great place to see a football game because there's only seats, and it doesn't matter
Correct.
where you sit. You have a phenomenal view.
There's also no
Just play
Chargers
there.
fans. It's all
No,
Colts.
but like I'm just saying for you or anyone visiting, it's a great place to see a game because there's no bad seat in the house and you're surrounded by fans. My dad got random tickets to Chargers Steelers and I went with him, and it was just an ocean of black. I mean, it was on freaking ABC News, just a wave of black, which again is not surprising, but I just want to say it's a good place to see a game.
If my memory serves, I think we
Small.
bought those tickets off of you, Joller. I think Joss bought those tickets off of you and your dad.
I
The
think
Chargers.
you did.
Colts won. It's like 4 years ago.
I think never mind.
How funny.
That might have been why. God, it's been 4 years already.
I don't know. Joss and I are barely dating.
Time flies when you're
Like
having
5.
fun.
Speaking of having fun, those Cowboys, them boys, were not having fun until about 5 seconds with the game left. Dallas Cowboys eke out the win 20-17 in Pittsburgh after a hour and a half weather delay. I'll let you take the lead on this one, Justin. What'd you see?
You want to not give a shit about your team anymore, and then they suck you in. You know what I mean? This was that game because you see Dak make like a dot throw to CD on the sideline. Like that throw was fucking insane, throwing all over the place to Jalen Tolbert, and then you fumble in the red zone, and then you throw a pick in the red zone, and then you throw another pick, and it's like, dude, it's so exhausting. It's so exhausting. I don't know. I think that they're like a mediocre team. They look like exactly what I think they are. They're going to be 8-9, 9-8. If they're lucky, 10-7 at the end of the season. Dak just looks too inconsistent. He makes a great throw one play, and then the next play he coughs it up or whatever. I don't know. I thought Jalen Tolbert played great. He filled in for Brandon Cooks, being with that infection or whatever he's got going on. 7 catches, 87 yards, the game-winning score.
Game-winning score after he got hurt on the
They
play
just,
prior. That was kind of like that was wild.
Yeah,
He got
I believe
hurt.
that ball hit him in. I believe that ball hit him in the nuts.
Classic. He's like, I need a second. Comes back and scores the tutty.
I don't know for sure, but that's what it looked like. So Dak throws it to him in the end zone, right? He slides to try to grab it.
Yeah.
And he's like he like can't even make it off the field. He's like, oh my god, I can't even like breathe right now. I believe the ball hit him in the nuts. He just needed a second. Comes back in and wins the game.
There you go.
Justin,
Wrong
is
out
Dak
right there.
is Dak a box score merchant?
What do you mean by that? Are you talking about his 352 yards or what?
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, a box score merchant.
Yeah,
For every game, Dak throws a million, or even if they're down, he'll throw for 400.
Yeah,
He'll throw 2 picks.
yeah, 100%. If you watch the games, he's not as good as like you would, if you just looked at the stats afterwards, you're like, and Dak played like an awesome game. Like, no, like he missed a guy here. A guy dropped 2 interceptions, throughout the game or whatever. Dak is not, he's not the $60 million guy, right? He could be the $50 million guy.
I think every time a quarterback gets paid, like Jordan Love is making $50 million a year, insane. Dak XD. Just always blame whatever happens immediately to Deshaun Watson for making them make the money that they're making. Because it's not even Dak's fault.
Yeah.
It's not Jordan's fault that they're making that kind of money. It's Deshaun's fault.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to tell myself. Anytime something goes bad, I'm going to say he would be making $35 million. So it's not so bad, but it's Deshaun's fault that he got paid.
Yeah, I mean,
agree.
I'm sticking to that.
I think in this game though, I think the defense actually played really good for giving Pittsburgh's offense 3 extra chances having the ball and still holding them to 17 points. I think they, without Micah, without DeMarcus Lawrence, without Deron Bland, without basically all of their names on defense except for Trayvon Diggs, like they played really good on defense, which is shocking because their defense has sucked ass this year.
I had to switch laundry for the right before whatever CD and Dak exchanged happened.
Yeah.
What happened? Do you know what he said to him or why he was pissed off?
So, I saw the quote, what people were speculating it was. Give me a second. Let me try to pull it up.
Well, what happened before that? Like what?
So,
Dak
threw a pick he threw a pick in the end zone. CD was standing in the corner of the end zone, and Dak kind of underthrew the ball to him, and it got picked off. And then on the sideline, Dak's just looking at the tablet, and CD goes up to him and he says a couple things, but I forget what people were speculating it was that he said. Let me see if I can find it though.
I have a few thoughts. I don't have too much. I mean, the game wasn't, it was, hour and a half delay or whatever from the rainstorm and everything, and I was kind of excited. I thought it was gonna be more of a shootout, but obviously Steelers defense is pretty tough. And I thought with Cowboys, like you said, missing 3 of their starters, I think that I thought Justin Fields kind of had better of a day than he did. They kind of touched on it on the game a little bit. Russell Wilson, he was the emergency quarterback, but he's still like quote unquote hurt. I don't think Justin Fields did shitty enough to lose his job, but I think he's on a shorter leash, depending on again how Russell Wilson is in practice or whatever. Then I just looked at their Steelers schedule real quick: at Raiders versus Jets versus Giants. I could see Justin Fields putting up 250 total yards in all 3 of those games and securing his spot for the whole season.
Yeah, and we talked about that, a few weeks ago, that Pittsburgh has a really favorable schedule coming up. We thought that they would probably, or I thought that they would probably split with Indy and Dallas and, possibly end up, at like 7-2 after 9 or 10 weeks, right? Now that they've lost both those games, maybe it's more like a 6-3. They're definitely not a bad team. Conditions tonight were good also. Obviously, the game was delayed. It was raining like crazy before the game, so the field was really wet. Obviously, the ball gets wet. I don't know. I don't think Justin Fields played terribly, but I do have what people are speculating. CeeDee Lamb told the Dak on the sideline there. One of the quotes was a possible where CD goes up to Dak and says, "Some ball for some ball."
Oh, damn.
Or people were saying, a lot of people were saying he's saying subpar throw, Dak.
I like some ball
say
more.
That.
It's a little more spicy.
Yeah. Another guy said, he just said jump ball. but it didn't look like that. I think some ball might be. Somebody said,
You sure
"I'm not
about
a great
that?
Yeah, somebody said this. It made me laugh though. They go, "I'm not a great lip reader, so I'm not sure what CD said to Dak on the sideline, but I don't think it was hang in there."
Yeah.
And it was not.
If I was a
I
betting
can
man,
confirm it was not that. So
it's funny. It's
yeah,
like, hey, we both got paid. We're both going to be here for a while. Let me start some shit.
yeah, because none of this was coming up in prior seasons, right? It wasn't until after CD's making 30. What is it? 34 now? 34
Oh,
million
it's
now.
so much money.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So, but now's the time. Now's the time where all shit goes to hell when they are home for Detroit next week, at San Francisco after the bye, at Atlanta, home for Philly, home for Houston, at Washington. Uh, that schedule is looking like maybe they win one of those. I don't know.
You said Detroit in Dallas next week?
Yeah.
Be fun.
And with the way that they played last week against New York and then tonight, like there's no way they win their game next week.
You heard it here. Bet the house on Detroit. Coming off a bye too, so they'll be definitely
100%.
rested.
I think they could win.
They should be favored by 7.
Detroit should be favored by 7 on the road.
They should. They're only favored by 3 right now.
We will see.
know.
We'll see. We'll definitely touch into that on when we talk to you all next on Thursday. I did want to, so I finished up obviously that Sunday night game that literally ended at midnight on the East Coast, which was crazy. I did want to give out an award for the games this week. There was an award. I want to give out the Next Man Up award to Tyrone Tracy Jr. and Tank Bigsby, the backup running backs for the Giants and the Jacksonville Jaguars, respectively. Travis Etienne wasn't hurt. He just got out-touched and outperformed by Tank Bigsby. And then obviously Devin Singletary was, reported to be out before the game started. So then Tyrone Tracy took his place, came in for 129 yards. And then Tank Bigsby had over 100 and 2 touchdowns for Jacksonville and outperformed his better half, Travis Etienne Jr. So I want to give out the Next Man Up award for those 2 backups. Pretty cool to see. Insert clapping emoji here. But besides that, it's kind of standings how they look. Buffalo, in the lead, even though they lost. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, they're leading at 3-2. Houston at 4-1. KC at 4-0. They're playing tomorrow, but that's not going to change anything. Washington 4-1. Vikings 5-0. Atlanta 3-2, and Seattle at 3-2. Any surprises out of all of that you guys think?
I think AFC is pretty much chalk. Like it's exactly the way we thought it would be. Division, leaders, Kansas City, Houston, Baltimore, Buffalo. Who thought it was going to be any different than that? I mean, maybe
Nope.
you thought Miami if Tua was healthy. I don't know.
Maybe, but I
AFC
agree.
looks exactly the way I think everyone thought it would.
I agree. I definitely agree. NFC
not so much.
Yeah, NFC. The only one I would say is the Seattle one because you expected San Francisco to be healthy and to kind of come out, and be dominant. Obviously coming off of the Super Bowl and stuff, and definitely, so that one's definitely surprising. The Atlanta one, I thought that division was going to be a toss-up. Atlanta, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. I think all 3 of them could win the division, so I think that's not surprising. 3-2 leading a division that's basically anyone's. But then Minnesota 5-0, Washington 4-1 are the 2 outliers for me.
I do just want to say the entire NFC North has a winning record.
They do. Shout out Bears.
No.
And Green Bay is now the only one that's out of the playoffs currently.
Yeah, they're sitting in fourth place at 3-2.
Damn.
It's all right.
But still a long way to go.
Washington is a surprise only because I thought Philly would be up there, but Philly doesn't look as good as we thought they would be. I always thought Dallas wouldn't be that great, so it's not a super big surprise. I think Minnesota is the biggest.
And Washington,
sure.
I think because for both of those, because Washington, it's a rookie, Jaden Daniels, you have no idea what they're going to do. And then J.J. McCarthy out, Sam Darnold come in, you're like, what the hell? There's no way Darnold's going to go 5-0. Well, what the hell? I think those are, I agree, biggest surprises.
Yeah, and I think the plan for Minnesota was always to use Sam Darnold, kind of how New England is using Jacoby Brissett. not that Minnesota was ever going to be as bad as New England, but that was their plan, was to kind of bridge, let them sit this year and then start next year. And
Yeah, he's on a
but
1 year
now,
deal.
Yeah.
yeah, but do you re-up him? If you can go down the stretch and end at 12-5 or 13-4, like how do you go to JJ next year after that? I don't know.
You don't.
I mean, you draft him in the
And then
first
how do you
round. You might
don't?
have
How
to.
do you don't?
You pulled it's the Jordan Love thing. You drafted him, and you're like, "What? You're not going to play him?" And Minnesota
Yeah,
will
look
eat
how good he's
itself
doing. Look
alive.
how good Aaron Rodgers did too. Same thing, man.
Yeah,
Keep him on the back. I mean, JJ McCarthy's not a good quarterback, anyways. I don't care.
Wow.
I don't
Wow.
know,
Okay then.
But
All right then.
but I'm not saying Sam Darnold's the
man. I
greatest
hope they
quarterback in the league.
start him next year, just so we can come back to this moment and be like, "You, ye of little faith."
I hope they do start him and he gets absolutely shit on the whole year.
Or like Justin Fields.
Oh man. But yeah, we'll see. Definitely like the standings though. Be fun next week to kind of talk about and look at the games. But we do have one more week 5, just quick predictions, and then we kind of talked about it on Thursday. New Orleans visiting the undefeated Chiefs. Chiefs got to lose eventually. I'm picking New Orleans. I'm just playing the odds.
I am
I heard
not.
this before.
I don't think this is the week.
I also heard that
Kansas City gets
before.
got.
Word for word last week.
I don't think anything's changed.
Yeah, I think if the game was in New Orleans, like I kind of like it. It's a little frisky, but yeah, dude. I'm also gonna say what I said before. It's hard picking against KC and KC. I just don't see it. Not right now.
All right, then okay. So let's say they beat the Saints. When do they get their first loss? At Niners, at Raiders, versus Bucks, versus Broncos, at Bills.
At
Probably
Bills.
at Niners. Wow. All the way there. Man, maybe
Damn.
that's
Well, yeah, it's hard to see them not. Not even.
that is
It's
a
Put them
not.
at
lot.
9-0. That would put
It's
them
not
nine
even
and one.
hard. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that's a lot, but it's like
With the way Buffalo looked today and last week, you think that's the game?
it's in Buffalo and it's 4 or 5 weeks from now. They could totally turn it around.
I don't know if Buffalo is going to get better.
Now Baker's
I
gonna go
love
off.
this part of the schedule because we get to speculate about who's going to be ass in a month from now. It gets me going.
I think because San Francisco is in San Francisco, I think that's like their best chance to lose, and that's their next game right after New Orleans.
Everyone's just saying how ass San Francisco is. Now they're going to lose. Now they're going to beat the Chiefs.
I think it's possible.
First of
Or
all,
home
for the
for Tampa
record,
Bay.
I don't think they're ass. I think they're injured. There's a difference.
First
Okay,
off, it
if they
doesn't matter.
don't lose to Buffalo, they're going to go perfect through Houston in week 16. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. They're getting their first L tomorrow, and it's all a moot point, anyways. So you heard it here first. Bet the house. What's the spread?
Hey, one could hope.
Zach, you
Spread,
can't bet
Justin?
the house because you lost the house last week.
5.5. 5.5 KC.
5.5, dude. Put the house on New
You
Orleans to
can't.
cover.
You lost the house on last week's bet. You said the same thing. Bet
I know,
the
and
house.
I'm taking a second mortgage out of my house to
You're homeless
make
now.
the
You
money
can't do
back.
that. Your backdrop is AI. It's fake.
I gotta get the money again to make my money back. I gotta double my earnings.
Do you want to do Thursday's game before we get off or no?
We can talk about Thursday.
Yeah, what do we got? Do it real quick. What is
Niners at
Thursday?
Seahawks.
Oh, Niners at Seahawks. Oof. I'm actually I think I'm gonna watch this game with my dad live. So I think I have to get him on for sure to talk, regardless of what happened. I gotta like book him in.
You're
Hey,
gonna be
Daddy.
you're gonna be at the house.
I think so. I was like, Daddy, you gotta talk. No matter what, just call in. You need your thoughts. Where's it at?
At
In
Seattle.
Seattle. I think San Francisco wins this game. I don't know.
Bring Seattle 3 losses in a row.
It's just the fact that Seattle just lost to New York, and I'm like, come on, man.
Close game though. But yeah, I know.
Yes, I agree. These games are always close. Seattle, San Francisco, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona. I mean, I think the NFC West is always really close in my opinion. I think they win by like 5. Niners win
And
by
you
5.
were saying the Giants are like trending. Like Daniel Jones hasn't been playing that bad. So I kind of
Right.
like Seattle to bounce back. I do. I'm picking Seattle.
I can't. My dad will kill me.
Wow.
But
I don't think I can
if they
either.
lose, his comments will be glorious. Because he'll be like, "Fuck this, sell them all.
You know
I
what
don't
I'll do?
care."
I'll pick Seattle to cover -3. That's how close
Oh
it'll
my
be.
gosh, that's rough. I'm not betting that on that
I
one.
mean, that's a
sure.
super balanced take. The Seattle covers.
But you already know. Put the house on Nola. They win outright, baby. Money line, do it. And then
We'll have to do a Monday night pod if they lose.
I was
just a
talking
quick
about
one.
that one game.
Just the one game. That's it.
I gotta start.
So where do you need a place to live since you lost the house again?
No, it'll just be Zach sitting next to either you or me because he's living with us now.
So starting on Thursday, I'll say it now for everyone here too, for our viewers, listeners, is I'll write down, I'll have a master doc, and I'll write down the picks for every week that we kind of know we could tally up like who's picked the most right ones. I'll put like an asterisk like, oh, Zach bet the house on Nola. No, I haven't done it yet. That's all I'm gonna start this Thursday. You already have me right now.
Check my Arizona pick.
You have me right now for New Orleans, so we'll go start with that. You guys both said no, so there you go. I am
starting right now. Seems like an arbitrary time to start. I picked the Cardinals last week, and it's not going to matter towards the tally. Is that what you're telling me?
No.
After
Correct.
you both
Unless
said,
you go back,
and then you jumped on my bandwagon, dog.
Oh,
yeah, sorry. Just pick New Orleans; it'll count.
My expert takes are not getting credit. Hurts my soul.
Well, we will. I'll start drawing it down.
We'll do like an end of year like best picks recap.
Yeah, I got you. I'll start writing them down. But yeah, man.
Yeah. So starting Thursday night, picking the following week's game. It starts this week.
Yes.
On Thursday night.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
You heard it here first. All two people listening.
It starts tomorrow.
Okay, it starts
tomorrow. Technically, yes. It starts tomorrow.
But tomorrow's part of this week.
Doesn't matter. It's a good one to take.
Whatever.
Cool pick.
That's fine.
I just want to get it so I can start off. So I can start.
Saints win anyway. Is that what you said?
No, I said Saints will lose by 40 anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
You heard it here first, everyone. Bet the house, New Orleans. But yeah, definitely some good games starting from 6:30 and going all the way till freaking 9:30 at night. We love it. We love football here on the Bald Knowers Pod. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll be back Thursday to talk about Thursday night football. San Francisco at Seattle, and then predict the Sunday games. Gentlemen,
all right, boys. See you later.
So
have a good night. Later, players.